Everybody. Just want to make a quick little announcement for something I'm doing starting next week. Next week is the 20th anniversary of the Los Angeles riots. It was a pivotal moment in my city's history, a pivotal moment in my lifetime because I remember it very vividly. So I will be doing a 5-part series looking back at the riots. Part 1 is going to be looking at the causes and things that led up to it. Part 2 is going to be looking at Rodney King and the Latasha Harlins murder as two of the flashpoints that directly led to everything happening. 3 is going to look at the trial and the verdict. 4 is going to look at the actual riots. 5 will look at what happened afterwards. And I might do a video epilogue afterwards to kind of just wrap everything up and give some more insight on what happened. But I basically want to just tell you why I'm doing this. Besides all the things I mentioned earlier, 3 years ago at my newspaper, we were doing a series for Black History Month, some of the most pivotal moments in Los Angeles history, specifically for our audience, for Black Los Angeles. We barely mentioned the LA riots. And I remember we were in a meeting, and we initially had run a full-page spread of photos from 1992 that were very vivid, that were very in your face as far as what happened during the riots. Well, we come to find out that management didn't go for it. They were very much appalled by it because when they purchased the Sentinel, where I used to work at the LA Sentinel, they did not want to have a bunch of negative news on the cover. And I respected that. And during the staff meeting, a lot of people were very upset about how the spread came about. And I pretty much took it upon myself to say, all these things are great, it's well said, but you should have told us this a week ago when we had a staff meeting. So I was a little bit annoyed, but I also understood that they didn't want to show a lot of negative things. They didn't want to show images of looting. They didn't want to show images of police officers pointing guns at people. I understand that. But there was kind of the sense where I found out that they didn't really want to talk about the riots in depth. And I told myself, I'll be darned if I see a mainstream newspaper like the LA Times or another national outlet look at the LA riots, but yet we're so intimidated by that word riot that we call it uprising or something nice to help people get their insurance. We don't even want to call it that, but all these other papers want to. So I was pretty upset by that. I felt that we're sugarcoating something that was a pivotal moment in our community and the city that affected us, but we don't want to touch it because, it's too touchy, or we don't want to look like we're celebrating, or we don't want to, go back to that past. Well, because of that, I wrote one of my very first blogs, going back to the LA riots to tell the story about what happened, to give some insight. It's still to this day one of my favorite pieces. But ever since then, I wanted to really go in depth and really look at the riots and what happened, what led up to it. Show people exactly why the situation was as pivotal as it was. So I had a lot of visions for it. I wanted to do a lot of interviews with people. I wanted to talk to people. But seeing that I'm a freelance writer at the moment, you can only talk to so many people. And I'm probably going to regret not talking to more as I put this together, but it happens. But either way, I just wanted to do this to kind of just share with you how this happened, how I saw it as a 7-year-old kid, how friends of mine saw it, how my family saw it, and just kind of give you a little bit more insight behind it. Because I think that it's a story that needs to be told, and there's stories that maybe aren't being told about the riots. But either way, I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to post a link to the 2009 blog that I did in this profile so you can get a taste of it. But I'm going to release the first one on Sunday, the prologue. I just finished it last night. It's pretty long. Don't worry, I'm going to use pictures and everything. But prepare to do some reading because it's going to be very insightful. Hopefully you learn something. I've learned stuff. And by the time it's done, hopefully you understand how the riots really did impact the city, how it still affects the city, how especially the Black community in Los Angeles was really affected by it. And just hopefully, we have some dialogue about it. So be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited to present it to you. And, I hope you enjoy it.